Tuesday, May 19th, 2026 meeting of the Sustainability and Community Enhancement Ad Hoc Committee. And I will call the roll. Member Bushio?
Present.
Member Hance is absent. Member Minglecook?
Here.
Member Twitchell?
Here.
And Chair Renner?
Here.
Right. The first item of business is consideration of the minutes from the February 17th, 2026 meeting. Are there any changes or suggestions, additions, subtractions to those minutes?
Nope.
All right, well then could I get a motion to approve those minutes?
So moved.
Second. Oh, you go late.
I'll get it so late. All right, those, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, next up we have non-agenda items and visitors. The chair allocates 15 minutes during this item for those individuals who would like the opportunity to address the SEC on any matter not listed on the agenda. Each person addressing the SEC is asked to limit their comments to a maximum of 5 minutes. Are there any people participating online or in person who would like to make a comment? I hear none. So we will move along. The initial next item on here was to welcome the newest member of the SEC, Reagan Akins. She unfortunately could not be here tonight, but we welcome her all the same and are excited for her to be joining future meetings. That moves us over to item 5, which is consideration of a backyard animal license application for chickens at 186 West Scranton. We received an application in March from Lucy Colavincenzo to keep chickens, and she has done her due diligence. We did an inspection. Things from the staff side look good. There are currently 13 accessory animal licenses in town. This would be the 14th, maximum of 15. Lucy has notified the neighbors of these plans and received a lot of enthusiastic support of them. And the adjacent property owners have also received formal notice from the village notifying them of this meeting. And to date, none have submitted any feedback to the village concerning this application. So with that, Lucy, if you'd like to step up there, or either of you, and just give a brief summary of what you're doing here.
Okay, thank you. Excited to be here. As we were just chatting before we officially got started, we're really excited to be calling Lake Bluff home for the last 6 months or so. And really the reason behind this, once I found out we could have chickens in Lake Bluff, I was like, we're doing it. So I have a long history of, as I was just mentioning, I have a horse. I'm a huge animal lover. So this is really kind of an opportunity for me to just pursue a passion. This is solely for the purpose of just the joy of raising chickens, and of course the benefit of having eggs as well. So we've gone through all of the sort of regulations, requirements. We have constructed our coop accordingly. We had Shelton come out and inspect it. So we are planning on somewhere between like 3 to 5 hens, knowing that there's a minimum of 2, maximum of 6. So yeah, we're excited and happy to answer any questions you may have.
All right. Are there any questions from the committee?
No, I thought the application looked really great.
Yeah, looks really good. Just what was your neighbor's take on, it sounds like everyone's excited about having them.
Yeah, well, one of the great things we've learned about Lake Bluff is the neighborly relation. So we were very fortunate to move in, and our house is situated in such a way that we've got a couple backyards that back up to ours. So we can kind of see the neighbors, and so we've gotten to know a few of them. One actually has a young son who she said, oh yes, he'll be so excited to come over and help. Can he come feed them? And the others we were like, hey, we'll have eggs for you anytime you want. So just generally excitement, and I think it's one of those unique things that even friends and family are like, you can do that in Lake Bluff. So it's just one of those unique opportunities, and I think it's a fun thing we look forward to sharing with the neighbors as well.
Right.
It's good to see us getting up against the limit, and the limit can be adjusted. We started out when we first had it with a smaller amount, see how it goes, do the tests. So we have the ability to work with staff and amend those as we get up towards the limit.
Yeah.
So we've got 1 or 2 left, you said?
This would make 14. We've got a current cap of 15. I've heard some gentle buzz about people who might want to submit applications, but I've not received any.
And then has everyone renewed? Like, are all of them from all these years still active?
We've had a few opt out, but that's we're at net.
Got it.
I guess
Okay.
we had maybe, of course, we had the ones that we reviewed last meeting who had received them from a previous
Right,
licensee.
that's right.
Right.
And we had one other who just didn't renew this year.
Well, we can bring it up to the board. I know a trustee on the board that might listen to me. So,
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome.
We were talking earlier, just, and, you know, I know you're not doing this for money-making, but just, we've seen some activity, I've seen some activity of people who are posting on the local Facebook marketplace. I've got extra eggs, they're yours for $2. So you can give them away, but, you know, anytime you charge anything, that's against the code. So we're gonna remind the current permit holders that, you know, it's a nice gesture, but you really, you get into a slippery slope if you charge even a penny or something. So give them away is fine, you know.
Fortunately, yeah, I think we have enough people who will happily take them. And
Yes,
our Christmas
exactly,
shopping
right.
is done for everybody.
Right, there you
so,
go.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks for being here. Great to have you as new residents.
Yeah.
Are there any further questions from committee members? Well, with that, is there a motion on this application?
So moved. Second.
That being a motion to approve the application as submitted.
Absolutely, yes.
All right. Well, it is a roll call vote then. Member Bushio,
Approve?
Member Minglecook,
Approve.
Member Twitchell,
Approve.
and Chair Renner.
Approve.
Fantastic. Well then, you are hereby approved. I'll get the village administrator has ultimate final signature authority on it, but we have
Sorry you had to
presented
wait
a
so
positive
long.
recommendation from this committee.
Busy time of year. No, thank you all so much. Appreciate your time and consideration. We're gonna have the most spoiled chickens anyone's ever known. We're already planning like cameras and treats they like, and I've thoroughly gone down rabbit holes on what fruits they like the best. And what they say,
Great.
so
Our daughter
They're gonna-
thought
it's
that
gonna be a
we were
fun
trying to
experience.
replace her. There are human mothers that have less enthusiasm for their offspring.
for my future chickens. Thank you all.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, next, that takes us over to staff report,
Well,
and
so Shelton, can I
Yeah,
interrupt
go
you
ahead.
before that? So what about looking at, in the future, not having to wait for a meeting of the SEC, but that the village staff can do it?
yeah, that would require an amendment to the village code, but that would be doable, if that's something that staff. and
Yeah, I
board
know,
would-
we've talked about it in the past, and I don't think there's any objection at this point now that the program's established and we know what the rules are and the inspections, and that would speed up the process.
And under this, like, neighbors would still receive notice. and have the
Absolutely.
opportunity to
Yeah.
look at-
Absolutely.
It's just, we would empower the village staff to make those
Right.
approvals.
Yeah,
It
so
just-
that they wouldn't have to wait
Right.
multiple months.
Yes, yes.
Well, we
Okay.
were more than happy to come here and meet you all, so thank you.
Well, we're glad to meet you.
Citizen in Lake Bluff with absolutely no connection to the matter. Could you call it Lucy's Law?
There you go.
Very alliterative. Huh? Writing it down. All right, I can certainly take that downstairs.
Okay, perfect.
Okey-doke. Well, yeah, then, as far as staff report goes, first is that we have a new member who will hopefully be joining us at a upcoming meeting.
Is she back in tennis club?
You guys are free to
That's
leave
correct.
if you want.
Yeah, so
please.
she's,
Yeah,
she's
thank
one of
you.
my neighbors.
Your politeness, but this is
Thank
really
you.
interesting.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's one of my neighbors. That's great.
Yeah. And I think she actually came to our last meeting just to watch.
Oh, I didn't notice.
I'm not 100% sure that's who it was, but I've not yet met her in
I
person.
didn't notice. That was a while ago.
But yes, that was a quarter ago. So we've got that one. We will, once our student member rotates off at the end of the summer, there will be a vacancy there. But we've
So
got
fast.
some recommended candidates that I'll be running through the pipeline. And then with that, there will still be one vacancy. The body is allotted 7 members, and currently 6 of them are filled. And so
Do you ever want suggestions?
we are absolutely.
Do I give them to
Yeah,
Chair Renner?
and share the suggestions, and if they're interested, Regis should get the name. That's the process, because they nominate it
Okay,
through.
so would I do it to you and then you?
You can do it to me and Regis and just say, here's a person, I talked to them, they're interested.
Okay, yeah, she does all kinds of monitoring, bluebird monitoring,
Oh,
butterfly monitor, like someone seems like in the,
Yeah.
in the vein.
that'd be great.
Okay, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Let's see, leaf blowers. That's one we always want to hear about. But so the American Green Zone Alliance and the Quiet Communities, who are conducting the study, did their spring field work in April at 7 different properties up and down the North Shore, and they anticipate having the summary available in late June or early July.
Oh, good.
At which point that group will schedule a meeting for them to present their findings and
Because
their
we thought we would get the
recommendations.
report in the fall, right? So maybe
This
we'll
coming
get it
fall?
sooner?
Yes.
Okay,
that's
great.
correct. So yeah.
Seen a lot of noise on social media about people not appreciating hearing the blowers.
Yeah, I think,
We have been hearing that. And
Yeah.
since the ban went into effect, I don't know if we've gotten any calls to report violations, but
Yeah.
I know
Seems still kind of noisy.
there's a lot of other lawn work
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
still goes on.
Do we remind, I know we don't register the landscaping companies yet, but do we notify some of the major ones? Because it still surprises me that I see a big green truck using leaf blowers, and they know better.
And
they
they're
know
not
better.
electric.
yeah,
They're not, no, yeah, gas powered.
we do
leaf, the
notify them.
jetpack.
The benefit of being, we had been uniform with all the other North Shore communities that were in this back.
Yeah, right.
Is that if they're working up and down, they know.
Yeah.
Like mine, I said something to them during the beginning, he said, no, I work in Highland Park, I know I have to do this.
Yeah,
It's no big deal.
yes, right, right.
Yeah, I mean, we don't specifically send something to landscapers. We sort of put out on all our regular communication channels, reminder the ban goes into effect.
And there were
15.
warnings the first time, when they first came in.
And how do you what's the preferred way to report violations?
You can call us at Village Hall. A lot of people don't like to call the police for something like
No, it
that.
feels aggressive.
Yeah,
But it
so
also feels obnoxious to just send stuff to Drew all the time.
Right.
So,
well, if you just call the primary number at Village Hall, you can speak to me. You can speak to Tony or Gail at the front desk. They'll be able to record that and get it to the right place.
yeah, I think even a lot of homeowners don't really know what their landscapers are doing,
Right.
And especially if they're at work and the landscapers are there, I think they know they can just do it. And
Yeah. I do think if we ever get to the point where we can, if we registered them, we would have a process to communicate to them. A by the way reminder,
yeah,
because it's not the workers, it's the management of the large companies I'm talking about. The leadership team knows better, but they don't communicate it down to the field workers.
yep,
I know they're looking at the registration, they've talked about it. My biggest complaint was that the registration should not be financially onerous, because they're not, my guy is just him and his son. And we don't want to say, oh, well, it's crazy, we can charge them $1,000.
Yeah.
We can't do that to the individuals, so.
yeah.
that's not the point. The point is just to get them registered so they know the
Exactly, yeah.
rules,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Exactly.
Well, another item going on in the village that's tied into the 250-year celebration. Growing Native Habitat is doing a witness tree survey. So they're inviting residents to go out and measure old trees and determine how old
Nice.
they are, and consider what historical events these trees might have been alive for.
That's
Maybe
awesome.
even witnessed here in Lake Bluff. So there's information on their website. It's also going out in the village newsletter, and you can get information at Village Hall or at the library, and I think a few other locations around town as to how to participate and that sort of thing. So that's
Pretty
just
cool.
for the good of the order. Any questions about that?
No, I want to add item, but I'll make sure if you don't have any other items.
Well, there's just one more, and that's that the lighting ordinance will finally be going before the committee of the whole
Great.
Oh, that'll be
on
good.
June 8th. And we've invited John from Dark Sky, who worked with us
To
on
zoom in.
crafting it. I think he'll be physically present,
Oh, I
actually.
thought he was out west or something.
He's in Phoenix or New Mexico.
Yeah.
And maybe he is.
Yeah, I don't think he's flying out,
Yeah.
That would make more sense then.
especially with the ticket prices right now.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Just have to remember the time zone now that you say
Yeah,
that.
that's a good
Make
point.
sure that he zooms in at the correct time.
So, if you're done, about the trees, George Russell came to see me. He came to the committee to talk about his mounds on the trees.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
And he was frustrated that nothing had happened yet. I talked to Drew at the last village board meeting. He says he's talked to George and they're trying to implement the ideas that we talked about.
What would he like to have happen? I mean, it's education.
Right, he would like to have flyers, something, I mean, originally he wanted door knockers, we talked about door knockers. Drew was like, well, we can put it in the village newsletter. There were other things that the village was gonna work out, so it wouldn't be a burdensome cost. It just hadn't happened yet, and I think he was
Yeah.
frustrated with that.
Yes, we have been in touch with him lately, and I know Drew is directing people in the office to work on a communication.
Okay.
To go out.
But I think,
Yeah.
I mean, that is a valuable issue, but I think there's a lot of valuable issues as well. So I would hate to see like a flyer or something going out just exclusively about, one, I don't think we should be a committee that's promoting paper, that's gonna go to everyone's homes, because there's lots of other ways that people get their information. But I think there's a whole myriad of things. We are a tree city, so the tree health is great, but we're also a bird city.
Bird City, yes.
And so one of the things I wanted to bring up is how could we look at a more comprehensive or thoughtful communication for the committee to share? So things like, spring, right now is peak bird migration, so you want to turn all your lights off at night because it confuses them. I mean, we've had days where, 2 million birds are flying into Lake County. So anyway, there's lots of worthy things, and it would be nice if we were, as a committee, able to push out sort of regular information, like, did you know? And so anyway, I know George is super focused on the tree mounds, and they are everywhere. It's, I mean, that would be, if the landscapers were registered, it would be nice, because then we could share that
As a
piece.
regulation, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, that was something. I mean, the other thing that I'm seeing now are all the mosquito, people getting their yards sprayed for the mosquito stuff, which is really ineffective. And there's other ways to tackle mosquitoes in your yard. So if we could be.
Sorry, Sophie, but I was reading something along those lines today on the, again, like Facebook neighbor, I don't know if you guys subscribe to Lake Bluff, Lake Forest, Facebook neighborhood or marketplace, there's multiple sites, but you see a lot of stuff on there. And it's a big tick season, so
Yes.
someone was complaining about, what do I do about ticks? And then the next thing was, call Mosquito Joe, they treat mosquitoes and ticks. And then the next respondent was like,
Don't do it.
don't do it. And then she says, but they say they're safe, they don't harm anything except mosquitoes and ticks. It's
Oh,
like,
it's
that's
just,
not true.
it's not
like-
true.
And it just goes on and on and on. It's like,
Right, so I think it could be
Yeah.
nice if through the sustainability committee, we were, we were sharing actual, true information for the community about the hazards of mosquito spraying and how it's not actually effective, because it's just killing who's flying in the air. It's actually killing everyone in the air, like your lightning bugs, your beneficial insects as well for your garden, for whatever. But other strategies for killing larvae, there's lots of solutions. But we have companies that want to make money, right? So they'll tell you, yes, we'll get rid of the ticks, where they don't. Like, you actually want opossums in your yard, they eat ticks. Anyway.
Do we have a separate, like, site or somewhere we can do that? Or is it just the village site that we have?
It's just the village, and I don't think we want our own site necessarily. I mean, maybe
Yeah.
there's
Just
a page, but
like,
I
we
don't
could
know
do,
that
like, a
anyone would
doc or
go.
something?
Anyway, I don't know what the right answer, and someone at the high school might be a good idea person for generating that. But I feel like we have a lot of knowledge on our committee about this kind of stuff, and you do see all kinds of noise on social media, and it just makes me sad when you see people spending a bunch of money, spewing a bunch of chemicals on their yard, and then you see like their grandchildren there on the weekend. You're like, oh God, you just put all those chemicals, and it's ending up drifting onto other people's yards. Anyway, it's just
No,
trying to
it's a
figure
good
out how
point.
to share
I
our.
think the people that'll go to those sites sometimes are the people that are maybe already enlightened. And it's trying to get those people that are, it's a very challenging situation on how do you get people to come off of where they're at and their thoughts about these things, whether it's lighting or leaf blowers or bugs or birds, without insulting them,
Right.
right? So it's subtle education and constant, trying to educate them.
Right.
Bring
And a
it
lot of
forward.
it actually saves money, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
If you're not hauling to have all your leaves and grass clippings taken away, but just anyway. So it just seems like we could be a source of information. I'm not sure the best way to share those. Because I know we've done one-offs with the village, but
Right.
I think what we talked about in the past, because we talked about this a lot, and I would like to see our communications, there was 2 levels of, we talked about having a separate website or maintaining, there are 2 things. When we talk about, say, the chicken ordinance and reporting on, okay, there's 14 out of 15, we'll be looking at doing this. There's lighting ordinance, please come to the next meeting, here are some of the topics that are important. Here are things we're working on with this and that. And then there was this kind of gray area of best practices.
Yeah.
And we talked about at one point with our school reps about, can we do like a YouTube site or set up a social media? But I think the village's concern was, it can't say, the Village of Lake Bluff Sustainability Committee meeting says, don't rake your leaves, don't do it. Because it was like, is that official village position? Or is that a recommended from the committee members as a green organization as best practices? So it was kind of like one of those disclaimer at the video, this is a best practice, but not officially, dictated by the village that you have to do this, right?
But it could all be in framing, right? Like
Right,
if it's a did you know that, blah, 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 blah. So then it's not telling you what you have to do or don't, you have more accurate information to make a
Right.
choice.
So we talked about whether the school would set up, or with one of the other groups, we partner to set up these informative postings, whether it's social media, but it wouldn't necessarily be the SEC meeting. It'd be like Lake Bluff Green or something, or the school program not sponsored by, but, with input from the SEC committee members speaking. It was just, there was 2 areas that are very clear that we've got to get out this information, that we've made a decision as a committee in a village. And there's this other information which is more like good practices, recommended practices. It's framing.
Yeah.
Framing. Yeah, and I think we've talked about, the new media program. I wonder if we could challenge them to, develop PSAs on things or,
Exactly.
and being
I just don't
cautious
think
with
we've
the framing.
gotten that down, and we need to.
Yeah, so, and the other thing that would be nice, you made me think of it, Brian, is asking the community, like, what do you want to see, like, issues you want us to take up? Because we're taking up what we think of, right, and what feels relevant, but maybe there's something we don't know about.
Yeah, that would definitely be
Something with
helpful.
energy or solar, something maybe is on someone's mind and we're not responding to it because we don't know.
Yeah, I think we're coming up with some of the things we've accomplished, especially with the lighting ordinance. We're going to be coming up with our next big things, right?
Noise.
Yeah.
Noise. My watch is constantly telling me, loud environment, loud environment. There's a lot of noise. Sorry for the rabbit hole.
No, that's fine. I mean, well, we are now officially at members report. If anybody has anything for that? All right, and then we would be at chairs report.
Trying to remember anything to bring up in the village. The tunnel, the deep tunnel to the lake is going well. Everything's on target, and probably ahead of schedule in some cases. We're really looking forward to that project getting complete, the first leg. I think I've mentioned a couple times is that the village has to understand what it does and what it doesn't do at this point, because you put in this main line, right, and the main line takes all the feeders in, but we haven't got the budget in every neighborhood to upgrade the feeders yet, because that's, you got 20 million, then you get 5 million, you get 3 million, you get 12 million, and so the village, the feedback we've got is that if we have to pay a little more for this district, we're going to pay. People feel like, okay, I'll pay an extra $100 or $200 or whatever on my tax bill to upgrade this. But then we're going to get to the budgets, I think, eventually. And I think it's more the education part, because I'm sure there will be some big announcement. We're done with the deep tunnel, and people are going to walk out and say, "Yay, I never have to deal with flooding in my neighborhood anymore."
Right.
While that's not really the case. Or you get to the viaduct, and the viaduct has still got water, and you're like, well, we just spent $20 million on this thing. Well, because it'll be drained in 4 hours instead of a day. There's just this kind of, yes, it's great, but it's not going to, there's steps along the way.
Yeah. Yeah, important to find a way to communicate that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we're still we got a lot of rain this spring so far, which has been great for the drought, but it does tax our systems.
Well, we're just going to get more and more dramatic rain events when they happen, so it's
Yeah,
not going to
they're
get better.
talking about those real swings where we'll have 3 or 4 weeks of really hot, dry weather, and then a severe storm for 2 or 3 hours or 4 hours, and then hot and dry again. Just this up and down kind of thing. That's all I've got. Anyone else?
Now we're all depressed.
Uplifting. Well, then I suppose at this point, I will look for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second. All right, all in favor? Anyone opposed?
No, I think for a motion
When is
to
our next
adjourn, you
meeting?
just need
So
a
I don't
motion.
miss it.
Let's see. It is
7:53.